play Wisconsin. And you guys are Alley Eyes. I'm saying that right?
Correct,
Yep.
yeah.
Okay, awesome. So you guys just released your No Good single, and then the music video with that, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you tell me the story behind that?
Behind the song.
Yeah, like how did you, just what started it? What made the, if you're writing it or.
Yeah, I mean, it started with that little kind of lead guitar line that's just very chimey and repetitive was just something I'd had stuck in my head for a while. AJ and I are both big fans of the band The Beaches, who blew up with the song "Blame My Ex" a while ago, and that it sounded something very similar to some of their songs to me in my head, and I'd had this guitar line stuck in my head, and I didn't know what to do with it at first. I didn't know if it was worth pursuing, and one day AJ and I were like looking for new ideas to record, and I was kind of just trolling through a bunch of different little audio recordings on my phone, and I played him that one, and he was a big, he had told me he liked it, thought it was worth pursuing, so that was one I locked in, and sometimes you have to really work at songs and like dig at them, and sometimes they just come, all out of nowhere naturally, and this was one that just kind of came all naturally. It wasn't something I was really like, going in with this big idea. It's just kind of very stream of consciousness. So I guess when it comes to like at least the lyrical content of the song, very much just a reflection of like the worst ways I was feeling at the time in terms of just, feeling very much like there was a lot in my life I wasn't expectations I was setting for myself that I wasn't living up to, all these things I told myself I had to do that I was failing to do, all these things that I was supposed to be that I wasn't. And so, it just ended up being this song of all the worst thoughts in my brain about, who I thought I was at that time.
And then for talking about like songwriting wise, is it more individual or do you all, like the four band members, do you all collaborate? Is it just you two? Like how does that songwriting process work for you guys?
Kind of changed over time. So at least in this, we've had a lot of like band changes, our lineup changes over time. And now it's Colton, Jason, myself, and Griffin who joined like in December this past year. So at this point in time, we were like actually writing this song. It was mostly Colton and I doing all the like starting bass ideas, and then we would send those to Jason, and Jason, our drummer, would do a lot of the beats. And then Griffin joined like right before we went to the actual studio to record these songs. And then he got to actually be a part of that process. But like when it was actually writing, at least for this one in particular, it was like Colton would do a bass demo where it's like guitar, which is what he plays, and then like the vocal melody. And then from there, usually that gets sent to me, and then I'll record some sort of like bass idea. And then from there, we'll add all the like the bells and whistles. Like we added like extra guitar parts, like the big like guitar melodies that are in the like post chorus. That's all stuff that came next, and we liked that. And usually it's just like a positive feedback loop where one of us tells the other that they like something, and then it's like it starts snowballing into a full song. So yeah, that's kind of how this one went. They don't all, like Colton said, they don't always happen that way. This one felt a little more collaborative, but sometimes Colton does them all, and sometimes they're more of like a band thing. But like right now, we're just kind of restarting that writing process again with the four of us, and I think this time it's already looking a little different than it has in the past. So we'll see. It kind of depends on the song.
Right, for sure. Similar to that, is that how you you did your music video? I think it was released 2 days ago, something like that.
Yeah, it was Thursday. Yeah.
Was that all like your creative processes put together, or was it just one of your ideas? How was that put together?
Want me to go?
Yeah, you can go ahead with that.
Okay, so originally we had an idea of like, okay, it'd be fun, like premise of the song "No Good, I'm No Good" is it'd be like, oh, we're a band, so we have a friend who books for a local venue that's like a big hall, and we were going to go there and film. It'd be like the concept was like a band performing in this big hall, but there's no one in the audience. So like you're just like a band that's kind of no good.
Right.
So that's what we were originally going to run with, and then Griffin, who's our guitarist, who also did all the like videography for that music video. Griffin and our manager Ariel were like brainstorming a bunch of like concepts for the rollout of this release, and they kind of just like brainstormed this idea of like, oh, we're going to go to a junkyard. There's going to be more of a storyline to this music video, and then they pitched that stuff to us, and they pretty much kind of planned and handled all of that together, the two of them. And then some things changed, like we ended up not doing the exact storyline that those two had in mind. But they found that junkyard, like Al's Auto Salvage, which is like 20 minutes away from where we live. And we were able to go there on a Sunday and just get a bunch of kind of cool shots that fit the like kind of vibe.
Going in with, so your No Good single, and correct me if I'm wrong, is going to be a part of your EP released in July?
That's correct, yeah.
Are you able to tell us just a little bit about that without, spoiling the release?
Yeah. You go ahead, Colton.
Sure, yeah. So we'll have a 5-song EP coming out in late July. No Good, and then our previous single, Tangerines, are all going to be a part of it. It's definitely sort of a culmination of like, we've been in a band for 3 or 4 years now and doing originals for not quite that entire time. But so, I know the past 2 or 3 years has been definitely like a long learning curve for us. And this kind of feels like the EP where, we've really sort of started hitting our full potential. So this is where we want to definitely hit the ground running. AJ, do you care if I say the title of the EP?
No, go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So there's 5 songs on this EP, and the EP title comes from one of the lyrics of the songs. The EP's title is Bondage in the Afternoon, which is just a lyric from one of the songs that we thought was very cheeky, very funny, very eye-catching.
For sure.
The other songs are called High Plains Grifter, Bloodstain, and Roman Holiday.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what else we can share about these songs without
spoiling
much,
or
without being boring. But yeah, I think that's what we can share so far.
Yeah, of course. So then you also mentioned your single Tangerines, which will be part of the EP. Do you consider that more of more of a continuation of that song, or is it just completely two separate things?
I think to me they're very, two separate things. Weirdly in my head, there's like this EP is sort of split almost perfectly in half of like just to get simple, like happy songs, sad songs, and they all kind of share a common thread of just at least writing about different ways I, felt about my life for the last like year and a half. And while they kind of share similar DNA because they all just were drawn from experience, things going on in my life at the time and the ways I felt, Tangerines is definitely on the happier end of this EP. Whereas like No Good is just this like feeling sort of worthless and insufficient. Tangerines is definitely this like feeling alive and feeling ready to chase after this love will come into your life at some point.
And then moving off of the more songwriting aspect, you guys are performing this Wednesday at the Cactus Club, right?
Yep.
Without spoiling again too much about the show, what can fans expect about that performance?
We pretty much have been playing that full EP live.
Okay.
For maybe not the whole year, but kind of since we finished recording in January, we've been made that like the priority to play these songs live more. So they'll hear them ahead of time. That's kind of how we entice people to come to our show. You kind of get like
For
the
sure.
first listen at new music. Um, but one thing I think we kind of pride ourselves on as a live band is we love to like take the recorded arrangements of our songs and like make them feel bigger. So like No Good, we add this like very large kind of like more arena rock feeling ending to it. And I also think we're a band that's not shy, that doesn't shy away from wearing our influences on our sleeves. So like No Good, that ending was like the big anthemic ending at the end of that song that we do live was inspired by like the latest 1975 live album and stuff that they did in that. And then Bloodstain, we do like a big anthemic ending as well. So I don't know. I feel like from a live performance perspective, what people can expect is just like a bigger, more like arena rock feeling from kind of like an indie band. I think that's kind of what we try to do.
Mm-hmm. So does that make like live versus recording feel a lot different, or is it pretty similar?
I think live we are not afraid to kind of like draw stuff out a little longer, whereas at a recording, I think it behooves a band to be more punctual and have a little less fluff. And I think that's a lesson that kind of Colton's alluded to over the past couple of years. We've kind of had to learn over time.
Okay. And then I have two more things for you. Where can people find your band? Like, you're touring, I think I saw Milwaukee, you have Milwaukee on Wednesday, and then you're going to Nashville, right? Or am I?
I'm going to go. Go ahead, Colton.
I was going to say, we will be going to Nashville in late August, returning to a venue we played this past December.
Yeah. Mostly we are playing in and around Milwaukee and like our neighboring cities of Chicago and Madison, and trying to expand like our local footprint more in the Midwest first. But as we book ourselves for shows, like we're already kind of booked for most of the year, and then we just like slowly announce those as they come. Like the lead time on booking is like we're booked through. We're booking shows in October already. Right. So yeah, like the best way people can find that stuff is we list all our shows on our website.
Okay.
AliEyesMusic.com is where we keep all that stuff, or Instagram. Like everything is on Instagram and in our link tree and stuff there too.
And is there anything either of you want to tell any of your fans who are watching?
We love you. Please don't leave us. Tell all your friends to follow Ali Eyes on Instagram and Spotify and come to our shows live.
Perfect plug.
Also, don't be afraid. We've got new music coming this July, the full EP.
Yeah. I would say that music, I think, is going to inform, once Bondage comes out in July, I think that is the best indicator that we have found yet as a band of like where we want to go and what we want to be, versus everything that kind of predated even this EP. We put out 2 singles in last year called Killing Time and Like I'm Used To, and I think we're really proud of those songs and how they turned out, and had a really great experience recording and writing those. But we're just like testing a new sound from like a harder rock sound that we came from, and that just felt a little disingenuous to feel like who we feel like we are as people and the music we want to write. So I think I would hope to tell fans that as this new EP comes out, like to look to that as of more of like what's to come, and I think where our band's headed sonically.
Alrighty, that is all I have for you guys.
Awesome.
Yes, thank you so much for coming on.